Guys, I had some bigger topics to go into, but maybe later. I just wanted to say, I suppose this morning is where I'm supposed to go on an anti-Semitic rant according to the ways the narratives work in this movement, so sorry to disappoint. However, what I was thinking or reading and going through things as I keep seeing the Israeli flag, the Palestinian flag, the Iranian flag, and every flag but ours as usual on social media, which is starting to make my head boil. Especially on, it doesn't matter anyway, because that's just the way the world is, right? Um, we need to, as I'm seeing here on Getter at the moment, so many people are acknowledging now the damage that Islam is doing on a daily basis. Islam. And be careful not to say Muslims, even though the onion is always hard to describe because it's hard to know who's in, who's out. And I think I'm beginning to realise that's what some people's problems are with Israel. Now, if I'm right, there are some people out there that just hate Jews. They're not my kind of people. There are some people out there that see that, just like the left, that Israel has placed people in positions of power and position. So you don't need to have loads of people to do it. It's like the left. They occupy positions of, say, the media and stuff like that, which means that you get to shout the loudest, no matter what your numbers are. And I think that's what people are calling out with, again, Saudi, even Ukraine, Israel, Russia, but on the other side of things, America even. I mean, if we're going to look at all these things, let's look, because all of them have got their agendas. I mean, they're countries, they're governments, but this is one of the first elections for a long time where the people might be awake enough to vote for a party that's got none of these connections for the first time. No connections to Israel, no connections to Saudi, no connections to anywhere. Connections to Britain, to England. And we might have just a chance to vote for a party like that isn't. Don't get me wrong. Every party has to have foreign policy, right? But a party that's actually looking inwards first, especially during a time of crisis. That's what I want. That's what I want. So it's not about tearing down a people. It's about looking at the obvious that's in front of you and saying, yeah, Israel's done some shady shit and continues to do so and continues to put people in the places like the left do. Islam does things a different way and sort of goes on a warpath but causes damage. And it's undeniable now the amount of damage that's been caused. They both, like these religions, for a start, I wouldn't have freedom of religions in Britain. Freedom of Christianity, sure. And even then, I'm not a Christian, but fine. But I wouldn't have all these freedoms. But it's not a big enough country for that anyway. But it's just another way of tribalising the country. To get the fucking religions out. Get them out. People, fine. But just get the religions out. And with Islam, I think you find a lot of people will follow the religion. Because it's more important to them than anything. Fine. Let it be important back in your wastelands. And you may think that sounds terrible, but why are they wastelands? Because they're blowing each other up so much. So that's why. So it's not a racist thing. Again, like, you go back to the Islamic countries because that's where the barbarity is sanctioned. So yeah, or whether it's more clever countries than that are buying politicians or placing sports or whatever else. It's all got to stop. And that's why I think Rupert Lowe said something about if he was to get into power, he would clear through Parliament, something like that. And I got the impression he meant get rid of all the people that aren't working in the best interest of Britain. Get this Parliament sovereign again. Make the people sovereign again. That's what I got from it. That's what we need. People voting, and I think we've heard from enough people now. Now, people don't want to get every black person out of the country. It's crazy to think that people want that. So I think that, other than the people that should be deported, I think everybody else would feel safer black or white, knowing that they're in a safe country, away from all these outside influences that have all got their own agendas. They're all putting money in. It is about money and about the fact that we're broke and they're not. Why we keep trading stuff. We've always done this, by the way. Britain is talked about as an empire and it had all this power, but what did we do when we were at our weakest? Just what the Romans did, what other people did. Pay people to go away. Pay people to leave us alone. We're not above that. We have done and we do. So that was pathetic, wasn't it? So but it's staying in because I can't bother to edit it out. So yeah, I think. Do you know what? I keep going to go. I'm stopping. Restore. I want to put my full weight behind restore. I just don't want to hear this business with people of if you don't vote restore, then you're a traitor to the country and all this stuff. People have got the right to vote for whatever right-wing party they want or whatever. So no, they're not traitors for not, I don't want to tribalize like that. But yeah, I'm going to put my weight, my support behind restore. Because I do think it's the one of the only parties that the name fits. Look at Farage. Look at what he's done. Look at what Farage has done. Like, do you remember what Farage's party got founded on? Do you remember why he was so popular? Do you remember what policies he had that made him so popular? Do you, though? Seriously, do you? Do you remember why people went rushing to his party in the first place? He's gone back on everything he said. Everything. And I mean every major policy. He was asked just the other day. He was told he was against immigration. And he said, oh, God, if I can quote it now. No, he said, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm absolutely the opposite to that. And Nigel chooses his words carefully. He said, I'm absolutely the opposite to being against immigration. Well, if you're the opposite of being against immigration, then you're pro-immigration. You're pro-immigration in a country that has been ravaged by it and cannot take any more. You're pro-immigration. So, it seems like, well, Dino said in one of his videos the other day, and somebody else did as well, that could be proved true, and that is, if Rupert Lowe gets enough support, you may see all these other parties band together, left and right, because they all really stand for the same thing. Then you get to find out the real conspiracy, and that is that there's one. It's supposed to be a uni party after all, like everybody said. And Rupert Lowe will either break that myth or he's going to prove it. We're going to find out, and that's why that's another reason why I'm putting my vote behind him, because one way or another we'll find out who owns this country. And if it ain't us, I'm gone. So, yeah, I'm serious, by the way. You think that's a joke, but if it ain't us, then what's the point? What's the point of having loyalty to it? If we've already sold it, this is what I'm worried about at the moment. Am I fighting for a country that's already been sold and I just don't know it? Seriously, is this why everyone's been walking around so smugly for the last year, not seeming to care that our country's going down the shitter and going off on holidays and that? Is that what they already know? Is the deal already done? And we're all too late to the deal, to the table. They've already sold us out. Is that what's happened? I'm not saying that is. I'm saying it's how it's making me feel, because I've been watching certain people for the last year walking around with a real lack of urgency, thinking, well, how come you got it so good? What do you know that I don't? Maybe they were part of the deal. Maybe they helped flog England. Maybe England's been flogged. In which case, yeah, maybe they're going to rename it next month. I'll leave you to guess what they rename it as. Anyway, just my thoughts and why I think I'm going to definitely be voting restore, because it will prove a number of things either way. It will be the biggest moment of truth in our history if people get behind Rupert Lowe. I truly believe that. In modern history, because we will really find out who runs this country and how and everything else. I think a lot will come out of this. I think even lefties should vote for Rupert Lowe, honestly, because it would show them everything. Tom Fury, Zero News, calling it a day for now.